fellow friends around the world. My name is KAZU. I welcome you all to come and visit my page. And I hope you enjoy all my posts, pictures, and video clips. I want to use this wonderful opportunity to say thank you all who have been leaving your wonderful comments, messages, and gifts. And I hope I will hear from you again. I also want to say thank you for choosing to view this video clip.
My hope for the future is that school and education might be a place where people find their heart fulfilled as well as their head, and where they feel connected to all the levels of their being and their body, and that we feel grounded to the earth and her sacredness, so we can dance on her and return her healthy and beautiful to future generations, so that all creatures, all beings, and all humans can live in peace and delight and joy, which is, I think, the reason the universe has brought us this far. We're trying to explore these ways of learning in our university, and I think the key is art, that art opens the heart up and the soul up, and it creates delight and joy. It allows grief and pain to find its natural expression, and I think that art is undervalued as an essential part of learning, celebration, and living. I think everybody is an artist, because everybody has wisdom inside to get out in some way. And there are many ways to do this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have a life form joining us, a water life form. And water manifests through every life form through all of time. My hope for the future is that we will develop a water consciousness where everything we do every day will be in consideration of water for life in the biosphere. Because there's only so much water and there's only so much energy in the biosphere. And the biosphere is where all the living things are around the planet. And that energy either goes into living things or to things that are non-living. And we as humans at this time in history control what happens with the water, and controls that energy of the water goes into living things or into non-living things, depending on our relationship with the water. So it is very, very, very important for us to develop a relationship with water as though it was a friend, as though it were a living entity. And this is not unusual, because there have been many, many civilizations that looked at water as their ancestor, their living ancestor. And they respected their ancestors and did not want to do anything to offend their ancestors. And those civilizations flourished because they were based on a living philosophy with water. So that is what I pray for, and that is what I hope for, is that we will change from being focused on the non-living to working with water to bring life forth in abundance on our planet, so that we can share our time here with all these beautiful living things, and to take that experience with us when we leave. That is our choice, and that is my hope. Thank you.
And my hope for the future is that people wake up to the fact that we need to make a shift in the economic system towards localizing instead of globalizing economic activity. Localizing would mean shifting away from just two giant corporations to 10 businesses, to 20, to thousands of businesses of a more human scale. This shift of growing the number of businesses that do the work that needs to be done to feed, clothe, house the global population, this localizing of economic activity is an incredible win-win strategy because it provides more jobs and has a lower impact on the environment. Localizing also means shortening the distances that goods travel from producer to consumer. When we shorten the distances that goods travel between production and consumption, the wonderful thing that happens is that it creates a free market situation where the pressure for the producers is to diversify, particularly for farming, but in other areas where we're dealing with natural resources. This means working with the diversity of the natural world. Having more diversity on the land means a healthier, more stable ecosystem. It also reduces the cost of producing food and fiber and building materials, while shorter distances mean that more money goes to the producers, and the consumers in the localized economies would pay less money for fresh, local, natural food, natural building materials, instead of the current situation, which means that food produced on the other side of the world costs less money than food from 1 mile away. One way to describe the shift that needs to happen is we need to reverse the situation so that fresh, local, natural products cost less money. Petroleum-based, plastic, heavily packaged, synthetic materials and foods would cost more money. That's the healthy economy of the future, and that's my vision for the future.
And my vision of the future comes from the observation that there's a big conflict today between the way we live as human beings and the way nature lives, the various living beings in nature, in the ecosystems, in this lake behind me, in the mountain, in the fields. The conflict is that we do not live sustainably. We cannot go on with the current technologies and our ways of life. We are consuming too much, we are putting too many toxics out into the world. My vision for the future is that our political and corporate leaders will become ecologically literate, that is, to understand the principles of organization that ecosystems have developed to sustain life. This is critical for us to build sustainable human communities. And these are very simple patterns of life, you could call them the basic facts of life. For example, the fact that in an ecosystem there's no waste, that one species waste is another species food, that matter cycles continually through this whole web of life, that the energy that drives these ecological cycles comes from the sun, and maybe most importantly, that life, since its beginning more than 3 billion years ago, has not taken over the planet by combat, but by networking, by cooperation, by partnership. My vision and hope is that this kind of knowledge will be taught in our schools, in our universities, and will be understood by our political and corporate leaders.
Thank you very much.